When Andy Griffith passed away suddenly in 2012, the world mourned the passing of a man who symbolized life in a simpler time. As Sheriff Andy Taylor and then later as lawyer Ben Matlock, Griffith played characters who embodied goodness and dispensed down-home folksy wisdom that often made more sense than the chaos that surrounds each one of us when we turn on the evening news or watch the latest reality TV show these days. At his core, Andy represented normalcy. However, the hours immediately after Griffith's death, well, they were anything but. You would think that someone as beloved as Griffith would merit some sort of public viewing and maybe a formal funeral, but in Andy's case, that was not what happened. In fact, according to CNN, Andy was buried just 5 hours after his passing. This was done at the family's request. It's hard to say why that was made. Was it made because of some sort of religious conviction, or did Andy just not want a big fuss made over him after his demise? Again, I'm not certain. Maybe Andy and his third wife just made the decision that it would be better off to not move forward with the traditional formalities. Nevertheless, I do think it's a bit odd that by the time most people were learning about Griffith's passing, he was already buried in the ground. And since we're talking about Griffith's burial, if you'd like to visit his gravesite and pay your respects, well, you're out of luck. Although you can visit the graves of Don Knotts and Francis Bavier, and even the mausoleum where Howard McNear, who played Floyd the barber, rests, you can do no such thing when it comes to Andy Griffith. That's because Andy is buried on private property on his Roanoke Island estate. Some folks believe that this is because Andy, despite his public persona, was a very private person in real life and most likely desired to maintain his privacy in death. That said, we are fortunate enough to have numerous other shrines, including this one from the fine folks at TV Land, as well as this wonderful statue that can be found in Andy's original hometown of Mount Airy, North Carolina. Here's a picture of the home that Andy grew up in. If you ever find yourself in Mount Airy, you can actually stay the night in it if you're so inclined. About a year after Griffith's passing, his widow made the decision to demolish a small Roanoke Island home that Andy had purchased in the 50s. It was a home that Griffith had told some friends that he would have liked to have seen turned into a museum. That said, the demolition took place and, well, a little bit of history was gone, just like that. Fortunately, there was already a wonderful Andy Griffith Museum located in Mount Airy. You know that statue that I was talking about a minute ago? It's right outside of the museum, home to the single largest collection of artifacts and memorabilia related to Andy Griffith. The museum features hundreds of items from Andy's life and his career in theater, film, and music. Highlights of the collection include actual props, wardrobe, and other artifacts from the Andy Griffith Show and Matlock that were donated by the Griffith family, members of the casts and crews, and other individuals and organizations. And despite the sad and forlorn look on my face here, I absolutely loved my visit to the museum. And yep, that's Otis Campbell's suit and a couple of his hats directly behind me. So what do you think? Do you find it odd at all that Andy was buried so quickly? Or that you can't visit his grave? Or that one of his homes was demolished? Or does this all make sense given the type of person that Andy Griffith was when the cameras were turned off? Let me know what you think in the comments section, and while you're at it, don't forget to like this video, and what the heck, why not subscribe to the channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
And now, this message.
Even when the fish aren't biting, I am. And there's nothing I love nibbling on more than this 100% natural Kraft cheese. See, it's different from most cheese products you'll find these days, because there are no artificial ingredients, additives, or preservatives. But when it's 100% natural Kraft cheese, it's easy to get me to bite. No wonder America spells cheese. As natural as fishing and nibbling.
Thank you all for standing by through and through. It's the kind of strength that lifts the shadows too.
Click on that thumbnail, cause it's time to go. Dave's got the classics, let the memories flow. TV shows and movies that we all hold so dear. On his YouTube channel, he's keeping memories near. Dave Sundstrom, bringing back the good stuff, oh yeah.